Hi, I am Bhumika. Today I am going to say about the remote sensing and come we go through what are the contents are there in remote sensing and its application. Come we go through some introduction part and its applications. What is remote sensing? Remote sensing is a method of obtaining information about the properties of an object without coming into physical contact with it. Remote sensing is a technology who is invented Dr. Nicholas Short for sampling electromagnetic radiation to acquire and interpret non-immediate Gauss-Padial data from which to extract information about features and objects of the earth, land surface, oceans and atmosphere. And it is also a collection of information about an object without coming into physical contact. The information needs a physical carrier to travel from the objects or events to the sensors through an intervening medium. The electromagnetic radiation is normally used as an information carrier in remote sensing. The output of the remote sensing system is usually an image representing the scene being observed. And there are some history about the remote sensing is that the technology of modern remote sensing began with the invention of camera more than 150 years ago. The idea and practice of looking down at the earth's surface emerged in the 1840s when pictures were taken from cameras secured to tethered balloons for purpose of topographic mapping. Satellite remote sensing can be traced to the early days of the space age in both Russian and American programs and actually began as a dual approach to imaging surfaces using several types of sensors from spacecraft. The term remote sensing first used in the United States in the 1950s by MS Evalia Pratt of the US. And in remote sensing, there are two types of sensors. First one is active remote sensor. Active remote sensing uses an artificial source for energy. For example, the satellite itself can send a pulse of energy which can interact with the target. In active remote sensing, humans can control the nature of the source energy like wavelength, power, duration. They can control of the source energy. Active remote sensing can be carried out during day and night and in all weather conditions also. Second one is passive remote sensing. Passive remote sensing depends on a natural source to provide energy. For example, sun is the most powerful, right? And it is a commonly used source of energy. It can be given as an example for passive remote sensing. This satellite sensor in this case primarily the radiation that is reflected from the target. In remote sensing, there is a platforms. What is meant by platforms? The base on which remote sensors are placed to acquire information about the Earth's surface. It is called as a platform. There are three types of platforms: ground-based, airborne, spaceborne. Platform used for remote sensing like in three ways, that is ground based platform in ground vehicles and towers up to 50 meter. Airborne platform like aeroplanes, helicopter, high altitude aircrafts, balloons up to 50 kilometer. Spaceborne rockets, satellites, shuttle from about 100 kilometer to 336,000 kilometer. There are some advantages of remote sensing that provides a regional view like large areas, provides repetitive looks at the same area, Remote sensors see over a broader portion of the spectrum that the human eye provides geo-referenced digital or data. And there are some disadvantages of remote sensing also. That is, it is too expensive to build and operate, needs ground verification, not the best tool for small areas. It's not a best tool. Okay, there are some applications of remote sensing like agriculture based hydrology, disaster control. In agriculture based, we can see the monitoring the extent and the type of vegetation, mapping soil types. In hydrology, assessing water resources, forecasting melt water runoff from snow. Remote sensing, there are some challenges like satellites are very expensive to build and launch, no direct measurements for the radiance measurements must be converted to geophysical parameters such as temperature or pollutant concentration. Trade-offs between spatial and temporal resolutions. Okay, from this we learnt about what is meant by remote sensing and their types of sensors and the applications that are there, what applications it's go through, and we learnt about the challenges, right? Okay, now we go through our conclusion part. That is, radars, laser range finders, UAV based reconnaissance and satellite imagery are widely used in defense forces, and advantages of remote sensing for what with the challenges, right? And there are some organizations on remote sensing from different countries, that is ISPRS, IGARSS, NASA in USA, ESA in Europe, NASA in Japan, CNES in France, DARA, CSA, and NRSA in India, that is a National Remote Sensing Agency. Okay guys, if you need more information about the remote sensing, means please go through these books that have give about the remote sensing literatures. Okay, okay, thank you for your kind attention.